taste of the real world. I got battered on the North Shore. It gave me comfort when I always knew that. I always knew that you were there for me next door. I lived it hard on the long road. I ran through every single zip code. I get lonely, but
How are you doing, math learners? This is your free access YouTube edu creator, Math Teacher Ash. And today, we are going to have a new reviewer series for our beloved grade 7 students. This is in preparation for their upcoming examinations. So for today, we will have series of questions to be answered one by one. So if you are new to the channel, please click the subscribe button and notification bell for you to be updated of these cool clear math videos just like this. So without further ado, let's do this. Alright. Question number 1. Which polygon has 7 sides? Is it A, hexagon, B, heptagon, C, octagon, or D, nonagon? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, math learners, this is one of the easiest questions to be given in your examination. Why? Because this is just naming the polygon based on the sides. So if you can remember the polygons, the classification of polygons will start at triangle, which is 3 sides. Then 4 sides is the quadrilateral, the 5 sides is the pentagon, the 6 sides is the hexagon, so therefore this is not the correct answer, letter A. The 7th side is known as the heptagon. Okay, so the correct answer is letter B. Alright.
Easy, right?
It is very easy, my dear math learner, because octagon and nonagon refers to 8 and 9 sides respectively. Alright, so now let us go to the next question. Question number 2. What is the complement of an angle whose measure is 37 degrees? Is it A, 53 degrees, B, 63 degrees, C, 143 degrees, or letter D, 153 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds. So math learners, in order for us to know the answer for this question, we should first know the definition or the meaning of the word complement. In mathematics, complement refers to two angles in which the sum is equal to 90 degrees. If you are given one angle which is 37 degrees, then what you will do is you just subtract 90 to 37 degrees and you will have 53 degrees. And that is the correct answer for our problem. Let's check. Alright, we are correct, my dear math learners.
Easy, right?
So easy. So now let us go to question number 3. Which of the following is true about vertical angles? Is it A, they are adjacent, B, they are different measurements, C, the sum of their measurement is 90 degrees, or letter D, they have the same measures? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, this definition for vertical angles is very easy. When we say vertical angles, it doesn't mean that the angles is arranged in a vertical manner. However, it is considered vertical angles because they are angles that are drawn back to back. So therefore, if you have an angle in the upper part, its vertical angles is in the lower part. If it is in the left side, then its vertical angle is on the right side. Basically, the idea is that it is formed when two lines intersect with each other, forming 4 different angles. So if we would consider this given drawing, if you have 2 lines that are being drawn and then these 2 lines form 2 angles, okay, an angle here and then 2 angles here, right? So therefore, these 2 back-to-back angles is known as the vertical angle. So this part is considered the same as this one, and this part is the vertical angle of this part. Alright, so I hope that is very clear. So what does its definition, or what attributes, what characteristics does it says true about this one? So of course, if we say that it is adjacent, it shares a common side. However, if we consider that vertical angle is this one and this one, all right, so this does not share any sides at all. So letter A is wrong. However, if we say they have different measurements, then that is wrong because if they are back to back, they will always become equal with each other. And finally, their sum is not necessarily be 90 degrees because that will only happen if and only if the vertical angles are equal to 45 degrees. However, when you draw 2 lines intersecting with each other, it doesn't make always a 45-degree angle. It could be smaller or it could be bigger. All right, so the correct answer in this given problem is letter D. They have the same measurements. All right, let's check whether we are correct. Okay, we are correct, my dear math learners.
Easy, right?
So now let us go to the next question. Question number 4. What is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a quadrilateral? Is it A, 180 degrees, B, 270 degrees, C, 360 degrees, or letter D, 540 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, math learners, there are a lot of ways to consider this one. So, in order for us to know the total measurement of an interior angles of a quadrilateral, first we could consider the definition of a quadrilateral and its characteristics. However, if you don't know, just imagine that a quadrilateral is basically two triangles that are being put together. So, in one triangle, we already know that the total measurement of a triangle, the interior angles of the triangle, has the sum of 180 degrees. So, having two triangles inside a quadrilateral, it means that there are two 180 degrees, meaning that is equal to, yes, very good, that is 360 degrees. All right, so the correct answer is letter C. Okay, we are correct, my dear math learners. Now, another way for this is to use the formula n minus 2 times 180 degrees, in which the n refers to the number of sides. Now, if we are talking about quadrilaterals, we are talking about 4 sides. So, 4 minus 2, that is equal to 2 multiplied by 180 degrees, which is the same as the idea presented earlier. So, 2 triangles in a given quadrilateral. So, that gives you 360 degrees. All right. So, now let us go to question number 5. What is the sum of the measures of the exterior angles of a polygon with 8 sides? Is it A, 180 degrees, B, 360 degrees, C, 540 degrees, or letter D, 720 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds. Right, math learners, in order for us to know this one, this is basically a definition of the polygons. Now, regardless of how many sides, if we are talking about exterior angles of a polygon and we are trying to get the sum of the measures of the exterior angles, basically, we are getting a total of a whole circle, because if you add all the exterior angles of a polygon, it will make up to a whole surrounding of that polygon, making it a whole circle. And if you can remember, what is the total measurement of a circle? Very good. That is equal to 360 degrees. So our correct answer in this question is letter B. All right, we are correct, my dear math learners. So I hope you are enjoying to our reviewer series. If you consider this as very helpful, please click the subscribe button. Now let's go to the next question. Question number 6. Which of the following refers to a polygon that has equal sides and equal angle measures? Is it A, convex, B, concave, C, irregular, or D, regular? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, math learners, a polygon, basically, when it has the characteristics of equal sides and all of its angles in the interior or inside are also equal, then that gives the definition of a regular polygon. So the correct answer for this question is letter D. All right, we are correct, my dear math learners. I hope you got that one. Very easy. Now let us go to question number 7, which describes a linear pair. Is it A, 2 perpendicular angles, B, 2 adjacent and complementary angles, C, 2 adjacent and supplementary angles, or letter D, 2 vertical angles? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. All right, math learners. Question is, what is a linear pair? So when we talk about a linear pair, that is basically an angle that forms two angles that forms a line. So if we could consider this one, so if there is a line there, okay, and this is, okay, so this will be one angle and this is another angle. So therefore, it forms this angle 1 and this angle 2 will form one straight line, and that is called a linear pair. So basically, how do we describe this one in the given choices? So are these two perpendicular angles? All right, no, because perpendicular angles refers to 90 degrees. So letter A is wrong. Now letter B, we have two adjacent and complementary angles. In any way, this is somehow correct, but there is another statement, complementary angles. When we talk about complementary angles, as what I've said earlier in our review, complementary angles are angles or two angles that measures 90 degrees. Now, this is a straight line. This is not 90 degrees. Instead, this is 180 degrees. So, therefore, letter B is wrong. So, the correct answer for our problem is supplementary angles, because by definition, the supplementary angles are two angles whose sum is equal to 180 degrees. Alright. So letter D is also wrong. I hope you got that one, my dear math learners.
Easy, right?
Alright, very easy, my dear math learners. So now let us go to question number 8. What is the measure of each of two vertical angles that are also complementary? Is it A, 30 degrees, B, 45 degrees, C, 60 degrees, or D, 90 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, math learners, let us carefully understand the question. What is the measure of each two vertical angles? So, two vertical angles, we already know that vertical angles are equal, right? That are also complementary. So, complementary angles has the measurement of a total of 90 degrees. So, therefore, if you have two vertical angles in which the total will become 90 degrees, then what will be the measurement of those two angles? So, what you will do is you just divide the 90 degrees into 2 equally. So, therefore, your answer is very good, 45 degree. All right, we are correct, my dear math learners. Very easy. So, now let us go to question number 9. What is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of an octagon? Is it A, 900, B, 1080, C, 1260, or letter D, 1440? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, math learners, in order for us to know, we will apply the formula that I have given you earlier, as what I've said, that in order to get the total measurement of a given polygon, we can use the formula n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. Of course, an octagon, there are 8 sides, right? So 8 minus 2, that will be 6. So 6 times 180, that will give you, of course, 6 times 8, that is 48. This will be 4. So 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4, that is 1080. And the correct answer is letter D.
Easy, right?
Now, let's check whether we are correct, my dear math learners. All right, we are correct. Okay, so let us now go to our next question. Question number 10. What is the sum of the measures of two complementary angles? Is it A, 45, B, 90 degrees, C, 180 degrees, or letter D, 360 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, this is no discussion at all, because I have already discussed this earlier, that the measurement of complementary angles, the sum, is always equal to 90 degrees. So the correct answer for this question is letter B. Alright, we are correct, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to question number 11. So congratulations, you already finished 10 questions for this reviewer. Let us go to the next question. Which of the following angles is obtuse? Is it A, 45 degree, B, 90 degrees, C, 120 degrees, or D, 180 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, in order for us to know which among these choices is the obtuse angle, we should first know what is the definition of an obtuse angle. Obtuse angles are angles whose measurement is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So which among these four is greater than 90 but less than 180? Very good. That is letter C. So the correct answer is letter C.
Easy, right?
Easy. So now let us go to question number 12. What is the supplement of an angle whose measure is 65 degrees? Is it A, 25 degrees, B, 115 degrees, C, 125 degrees, or D, 155 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, if you can still remember about the topic earlier on linear pair, now we talked there about supplementary angles. Now, in talking about supplementary angles, the total measurement of two angles that are supplement with each other is equal to 180 degrees. Now, in this problem, question number 12, you are given one angle which is equal to 65 degrees. So what is needed by 65 degrees in order for it to become 180 degrees? Then what you will do is you just subtract 180 to 65. So 180 minus 65, and that will give you, very good, 115 degrees. All right, so the correct answer is letter
Easy, right?
D. Easy, right? So now let us go to question number 13. Which of the following is a polygon with 9 sides? Is it A, heptagon, B, octagon, C, nonagon, or D, decagon? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, math learners, we have already discussed this earlier. So, in the classification of polygons, we already know that heptagon is 7 sides, octagon is 8 sides, and the 9 sides is known as the nonagon. So, the correct answer for this problem is letter C. However, decagon here is 10 sides.
Easy, right?
Alright, so now let us go to question number 14. What is the exterior angle of a regular pentagon? Is it A, 36, B, 72, C, 108, or D, 144? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners. Now, talking about pentagon, remember that the exterior of a regular polygon is always 360 degrees. And if you have a pentagon, it means that you also have 5 exterior angles. So basically, what you will do is you just get 360 degrees divided by 5. That will give you 72, because 72 plus 72, that is 144. 144 plus 144, that is 288. And 288 plus 72, that is equal to 360 degrees. So the correct answer for this problem is letter D. Alright, my dear math learners, I hope you got that one.
Easy, right?
Easy, easy. So now let us go to question number 15. Which of the following is true about complementary angles? A, they are always adjacent. B, they have the same measurement. C, the sum of their measure is 180 degrees. Or D, the sum of their measures is 90 degree. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, math learners, we already have discussed the definition of complementary angles. So among these 4 choices, the correct answer is very good. That is equal to 90 degrees. So letter D. Of course, 180 degrees is for the supplementary angle. They are also adjacent. They are sharing one side of the two angles. So that is when angles are adjacent with each other. Okay. They have the same measurement. That is for our vertical. Alright. So now let us go to question number 16. What is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a hexagon? Is it A, 540 degrees, B, 72 degrees, C, 900 degrees, or D, 1080 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, my dear math learners, so how do we get the value of these problems? Of course, talking about the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a hexagon, we can apply the formula being said earlier. So that is the quantity n minus 2. Since this is hexagon, so therefore that is 6 minus 2. So therefore you have 4. So 4 times 180. So 180 times 4, the answer is basically 720 degrees. Letter B. Alright, we are correct, my dear math learners. I hope you got that one. If you do have some questions, you can put it in our comment section below.
Easy, right?
Now, let us go to question number 17. What is the sum of the measures of the exterior angles of a polygon with 10 sides? Is it A, 180 degrees, B, 360 degrees, C, 540 degrees, or letter D, 720 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, we are again talking about the sum of the measurements or the sum of the measures of the exterior angles of a polygon. So regardless of the sides, the total measurements of the outside of a polygon is basically very good. That is 360 degrees. So letter B is the correct answer.
Easy, right?
Very easy, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to question number 18. What do we call a polygon that has at least one interior angle greater than 180 degrees? Is it A, convex, B, concave, C, regular, or D, irregular? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, math learners, talking about a polygon in which one interior angle is greater than 180 degrees, that means that one angle is a reflex angle. So if that is the case, my dear math learners, that angle illustrates a concave polygon. Why? Because it makes a concave part of a surface of that kind of polygon. So basically, the correct answer for this question is letter B. All right, we are correct, my dear math
Easy, right?
learners. Very easy. So now let us go to question number 19. Which of the following is not necessarily true? Is it A, all right angles are congruent? Vertical angles are congruent. Letter B. Letter C, adjacent angles are always complementary. Or letter D, the sum of the measures of a triangle's angle is 180 degrees. I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, in order for you to know the statement here that is not necessarily true, it means that sometimes it could be true and sometimes it won't. Now, we will check here if it will always be or if it is not the case. Okay, so now let us check letter A. All right angles are congruent. So right angles are equal to 90 degrees. So all 90 degrees are equal. Is it correct or not? Very good. That is correct. However, the question here is not necessarily true. So letter A is wrong. All right. Letter B, vertical angles are congruent. We already discussed that the vertical angles will always be congruent. So this is not also the correct answer for our question. Letter D, the sum of the measures of a triangle is 180 degrees. I already told you earlier about that topic or that information when we were talking about the quadrilateral. So letter D is also correct, my dear math learner. So this is not the answer that we are looking for. So the statement that is not necessarily true is letter C. Adjacent angles are always complementary, because there are times that adjacent angles can be supplementary and there are times that they are just adjacent angles. Okay, so now let us go to question number 20. What is the measure of each angle in a regular octagon? Is it A, 108, B, 120 degrees, C, 135 degrees, or letter D, 144 degrees? I'll give you 5 seconds. All right, my dear math learners, one of the challenging questions that we can encounter here is this one. Why? Because there are two ways to solve this one. Number one is when you use the formula n minus 2 times 180, then the answer of that will be divided into 8 because we are talking about an octagon and that is 8 sides. All right. The other way is by just getting the exterior angles. So the total measurement of the exterior angles will always be 360 degrees. Therefore, there are also 8 exterior angles in an octagon. So what you can do is you can divide 360 by 8. I will just show you. We have 360 divided by 8. That will give you 4 here, and we have 32 here, and that is 40 here, and that is 45 here. Now, is this the correct answer? No, because this 45 degrees right now is the measurement of each exterior angle. Now, exterior angles are basically a linear pair of its interior angle. So basically what we will do is you just get the linear pair of 45 and that is equal to the sum of 180 degrees. So 180 degrees minus 45, and the correct answer is 135 degrees. So let's check whether we are correct, my dear math learners. All right, we are correct, my
Easy,
dear
right?
math learners. All right. So that is how you get the given answer, or the answer for this given question. So I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 21. Of course, I'd just like to congratulate you that you have already finished 20 questions in our reviewer series. Now, let us go to question number 21. What is the equivalent fraction of 0.625 or 625 thousandths in simplest form? Is it A, 1/2, B, 5/8, C, 2/3, or D, 3/4? I'll give you 5 seconds. All right, math learners, in answering this question, you can do the trial and error among the given choices. Okay, so you can, one way is you can transform this given decimal to its fraction and then simplify it, or you can also transform the given choices to its decimal form. Okay, so we have here 1/2. Now 1/2, if you make it as a decimal point, that is 0.5 or 5/10. So letter A is wrong. Now, how about 5/8? Now, 5/8, if we consider that one, that is 5 divided by 8. So basically, that will give you 0.625. So the correct answer for this given question is letter D. All right. Now, how about 2/3? Now, 2/3 is 0.67 because it will give you 0.66666. All right. So this is not the answer. And letter D is 3/4. If you divide 3 by 4, the answer is 0.75. So this is not also the correct answer.
Easy, right?
So very easy, my dear math learners. Now we will go to question number 22. What is 3/4 divided by 5/6 in simplest form? Is it A, 9/20, B, 5/6, C, 7/8, or D, 11/15? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, math learners, in solving this given operation, the division of fractions, what you will do is you just copy the first given fraction and then you change the division into multiplication and then get the reciprocal of the second fraction. So the 5/6 will become 6/5. Now by doing so, you will have 3/4 times 6/5. All right. So by multiplying, that is 3 times 6. So what that will give you 18/20. So 18/20, if you simplify that to 1, that will become 9/10 because both numerators and denominators are divisible by 2. So the correct answer for this question is letter A. All right, my dear math learners, we are correct.
Easy, right?
So now let us go to question number 3. Which of the following fraction is less than 3/5? Is it A, 2/3, B, 11/20, C, 7/11, or D, 5/8? Now I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, in order for you to know the technique in getting the fraction that is less than to the given fraction here, what you can do is you can consider the counterpart of its value in the decimal form. So if in that case, if it is bigger than the given, then that is greater than. That is not the right answer. So we are finding the value that is less than. Okay, so if we consider here, two fractions on the choices, among the choices is already been discussed earlier, the 2/3 and the 5/8. Now 3/5 here is if we divide 3/5, that will give us 0.6. Okay, so let me just show you that one. So 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. Now if you can still remember our discussion earlier, 2/3 is equal to 0.67 because that is a repeating and non-terminating decimal, that is 0.6666666. All right, so it will never end. So that is, if you round it off, that will become 0.67, which is bigger than the given fraction. Now 5/8, also we already know that that is 0.625 because 5 divided by 8 is 0.625. So basically that is also bigger than 3/5. So how do we know which among the two here, 11 over 20 and 7 over 11 is bigger. So if we consider 11 over 20, that is 11 by 20. Then 7 over 11, that is 7 divided by 11. So if we consider 11 over 20, so that is 20, the divisor, and then this is 11, right? So remember that 11 cannot be divided by 20. So that is the decimal here. So how many 20s are there in 110? So there are only 5. Okay, so that is 100 because 5 times 20 is 100. Then another here, so we will add another 0. So that is 0.55. So we already have the answer right now that the value of 11 over 20 in its decimal form is 0.55. Now, if that is the case, then we already know that this is less than our given fraction, which is 3 over 5. So the correct answer here is letter B. So, of course, letter A and letter D is wrong, and the correct answer is letter B. All right.
Easy, right?
We got that one, my dear math learner. Of course, 7 over 11, if you try that one, that is 7 divided by 11. So that is also bigger than the given. So what is 7 divided by 11 yields, or the answer? So that is basically 0.636363 or 0.64 to be rounded off. So 0.64 is bigger than 0.6. Okay, so I hope, my dear math learners, you got that one. Now let us go to question number 24. What is 40% in decimal form? Is it A, 0.04, B, 0.4, C, 4, or D, 40? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, math learners, this is very, very easy because in dealing with percentage going to decimal form, what you will do is you just move 2 decimal places to the left. So since 40 here is already in the whole number, so the decimal point is right here. So you just move 2 places to the left. So putting 0.40 or 0.4. All right, so we already have the correct answer for this given question, and that is letter B, my dear math learners. Let's check whether we are correct. All right, we are correct, my dear math learners. Very easy, right?
Easy, right?
So now let us go to our next question. Question number 25. A student scored 75% on a test. If the total possible score was 120, how many points did the student score? Is it A, 80, B, 85, C, 90, or D, 95? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, my dear math learners, in order for you to get the value or the answer for this given problem, there are 2 ways you can do. The first one is by converting 75% into its decimal form. So by doing so, by moving 2 decimals point or decimal places from 75, that will become 0.75. Then that 0.75 will be multiplied to 120 and you will have your answer. Now that may be very somehow long or tedious to do so. The other way is by converting the 75% into a fraction form. Now 75%, that means 75 over 100, which is equal to 3/4. So this 3/4 will be multiplied to 120, and it may be quite challenging, but the technique there is very simple. You just get the division of 120 and 4 because that is 3/4, right? So 120 divided by 4, that is 30, and 30 times 3, the answer is 90. Okay, but either way, the answer will always be 90 for this given problem. So that is letter C, my dear math learners. All right, we are correct. So I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 26. A bath towel is ordinarily priced at 80 pesos. It is now on sale at 25% off. What is the sale price? Is it A, 55 pesos, B, 60 pesos, C, 65 pesos, or letter D, 70 pesos? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, my dear math learners, in this question, basically, it says here that there is a discounted price, right? And the discounted price is the 25% off. So meaning the 25% of 80 is deducted to the amount 80 pesos. So whatever the result, that will be the amount that you will be paying for the bath towel. Now, one way to get this one is by doing 80 times 0.25, which is the decimal value of the 25% off, and then the answer will be subtracted to 80 pesos. Now, that may be tedious again, but there is another way. You just get the counterpart of 25%. So that is 75%, which is the same earlier. So 75% is basically what you will be paying for the 80 pesos. So what is 75% of 80? What you will do is you just convert it into fraction, that is 3/4. So 80 divided by 4, that is 20, and 20 times 3, that is 60. And that is the correct answer for our given problem.
Easy, right?
Very easy, my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 27. If the population of a city increases from 80,000 to 96,000, what is the percent increase? Okay, is it A, 15%, B, 20%, C, 25%, or D, 30%? I'll give you 5 seconds to... Alright, my dear math learners, I will be showing you how to solve this one. Of course, first, in order for you to know what is the percentage of increase, you must know first what is the actual increase from 80,000 to 96,000. So basically, what you will do is you just subtract this one to this one. So 96,000 to 80,000, that will be 16,000, right? Okay, so there is a 16,000 increase. So in order for you to know what is this increase of change, so this 16,000 right now, which is the difference between the two, will be divided by 80,000. Of course, if there are a lot of thousands, you can have cancel these thousands here, these 3 zeros. So you will have 16 over 80. And of course, 16 over 80 is both divisible by 8. So 16 divided by 8, that is 2. 80 divided by 8, that is 10, right? Okay. So 2 over 10 can still be reducible by 1/5. Alright, so 1/5, 1 out of 5. So 1 out of 5 in percentage form is basically 20%, because 1 divided by 5 is 0.20, and 0.20 when converted to percentage, that is 20%. So the correct answer for this question is letter D. Alright, my dear math learners, we are correct.
Easy, right?
Very easy. So now let us go to question number 28. What is the simple interest earned on the principal amount of 2,500 pesos invested at an annual interest rate of 4% for 2 years? Is it A, 100 pesos, B, 150 pesos, C, 200 pesos, or letter D, 250 pesos? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, my dear math learners, in order for you to answer this problem, you should know the formula on interest. So remember the formula in interest, we have interest is equal to the principal times rate times time. Okay, so we already have the principal rate here. So that is 25,000 or 2,500 rather, sorry. And then the rate here is 4%. So that is 0.04, and then multiplied by the time, that is 2 years. So what you will do is you just multiply this 3. So of course, 4 times 2,500, that is basically 10,000, right? But there are 2 decimals here, so therefore that is 100. Alright, so we have 100 for these 2 values when you multiply them. Of course, 100 times 2, that is 200 pesos. So therefore, the correct answer for this problem is letter C. Let's check whether we are correct, my dear math learners. Alright, we are correct. So therefore, that's how you get the interest of a given problem. Alright, I hope, my dear math learners, you got that one. Okay, so now let us go to the next question. Question number 29. A train travels at 75 kilometers per hour. How long will it take to travel 300 kilometers? Is it A, 3 hours, B, 3.5 hours, C, 4 hours, or D, 4.5 hours? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, my dear math learners, this is very, very easy. Why? Because what you will do here is you just divide 300 by 75, or by using the analysis, we already know that in each hour the train travels at 75 kilometers. So therefore, in each hour there is 75 kilometers being traveled, right? So in 2 hours, that will be doubled. So 75 plus 75, that will become 150. So if you get another hour, that will become 225, right? And then another hour, that will become 300. So therefore, the correct answer in this given question is letter C. All right, my dear math learners, we are correct.
Easy, right?
Very easy, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to the next question. Question number 30. If a cyclist travels 18 kilometers per hour, how far will they travel in 2.5 hours? Okay, is it A, 36 kilometers, B, 40 kilometers, C, 45 kilometers, or letter D, 50 kilometers? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, in this question, very easy that we already know that the cyclist travels 18 kilometers per hour. Okay, so per hour, so that is 1 hour. So of course, if you need to know how many kilometers will it travel in 2.5 hours, what you will do is you just get 18 and 18, so that means 2 hours, and then you get half of 18 for the 0.5 hours, which is 30 minutes, right? So 18 plus 18, that is 36. 36 plus half of 18, that is 9. So 36 plus 9, that is 45. So the correct answer for this question is letter E. All right, my dear math learners.
Easy, right?
Correct. Okay, now let us go to question number 31. I congratulate you again because you have already finished reviewing 30 questions in our series. All right, so now let us go to question number 31. Okay, question number 31. What is 3 eighths plus 5 twelfths? Is it A, 19 over 24, B, 3 over 4, C, 9 over 16, or D, 2 over 3? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, in order for us to solve or to know the value of a fraction in which they have different denominators, meaning they are dissimilar fraction, what you can do is by the use of LCD. So by doing so, what you will do is you just copy first 3 over 8 plus 5 over 12. So you get the LCD of 8 and 12. And we already know that when you count by 8 and when you count by 12, the first number that they have the same is 24. So 8 becomes 24. So how did that happen? So that is 8 times 3. So what you will do is you just multiply this by 3 also. So that will become 9. Alright, now 12, it becomes 24. So what happened to 12? So it is multiplied by 2. So what we will do is we just multiply 5 by 2. So that is 10. So that is 9 plus 10. That is equal to 19 over 24. So the correct answer for this problem is 19 over 24. Now, let's check whether we are correct, my dear math learners. All right, we are correct. So I hope, my dear math learners, you get how to solve fractions or addition of fractions if you have different denominators. All right. So let us go to the next question. Question number 32. Which is equivalent to 3 over 5 times 10 over 9? Is it A, 2/3, B, 3/4, C, 5 over 6, or D, 7 over 9? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, math learners, in order for us to know this one, you can apply directly the multiplication of fractions. In multiplying fractions, you just multiply the numerators, then you multiply the denominators, then you get the lowest term. You can also use the cancellation method. Okay, so in the cancellation method, what you can do here is you have 3 over 5 multiplied to 10 over 9. So this 3 and 9 here is divisible both by 3, so you can cancel them. This will become 3, this will become 9. We also have here 10 and 5. So this is divisible by 5. So this will become 2 and this will become 1. So by just multiplying 1 times 2 and then 1 times 3, you will have 2/3. Alright, so the correct answer for this question is letter A. Alright, we are correct, my dear math learners. Alright, so I hope you got that one. Now let us go to the next question. Question number 33. What is 5 over 6 minus 1/4? Is it A, 7 over 12, B, 2/3, C, 3/4, or D, 5 over 8? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, my dear math learners, this is the same as what we did earlier in the addition of fractions. If you have fractions that have different denominators, what you will do is you just consider the LCD. So by doing so, we have 5 over 6 minus 1/4. So the LCD for 6 and 4, that is 12. So what happened to 12? What happened to 6? Why it became 12? That is multiplied by 2. So we just multiply 5 by 2. So that will become 10 minus. So 4, it become 12. What happened is it was multiplied by 3. Very good. So what we will do is we just multiply the numerator by 3. So 1 times 3, that is 3. So 10 minus 3, that will give us 7 over 12. So we already have the answer for this given question. Let us check whether we are correct, my dear math learners. All right, we are correct. Okay, easy, right? Round. Let us go to the next question, my dear math learners. Question number 34. What is 3/4 divided by 5/8? Is it A, 6 over 5, B, 5 over 4, C, 4 over 3, or D, 3 halves? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, math learners, in order to solve this one, I have already shown you earlier how to divide fractions, right? So what you will do is you just get a copy for the first fraction, then you change the division into multiplication, then you get the reciprocal of this one. So this will become 8 over 5. And then you proceed to the rules in multiplying fractions. Of course, in multiplying fractions, it would be easy if you apply the cancellation method. So 8 and 4 is divisible by 4. So this will become 2. This will become 1. So 3 times 2, that is 6. And then 1 times 5, that is 5. So you have the answer, and this the correct choice. All right, my dear math learners, I hope you got that one.
Easy, right?
So let's check whether we are correct. All right, we are correct, my dear math learners. So if you are enjoying our discussion, I hope you click that subscribe button and notification bell. Also, you may share this to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates. Now let us go to question number 35. What is the product of 0.8 and 7.75? Right, or 8 tenths and 75 hand. Is it A, 0.006 or 0.06, B, 0.6, C, 0.75, or D, 1.55? I'll give you 5 seconds. So my dear math learners, in getting the value of this one, what we will do is you just align 0.75 and then point, okay? And then you multiply them. So in multiplying, of course, that is 0, 4, then 8 times 7, that is 56. 56 plus 4, that is 60. Okay. And then you have 600. Now, since there are 3 decimal places here, so your decimal point will be 1, 2, 3, and this is where your decimal point will be located. So that will become 0.6, and your final answer should be this letter B. All right, my dear math learners, very, very easy. Now let us check whether we are correct. Okay, we are
easy,
correct,
right?
my dear math learners. So now let us go to the next question. Very, very easy, my dear math learners. Now let's go to question number 36. What is 0.35 divided by 0.7? Is it A, 0.2, B, 0.5, C, 2, or D, 5? I'll give you 5 seconds. All right, my dear math learners, in dividing decimals, what you will do is you just do the usual division. So you have here 0.7, all right, and then divided 0.35. Now, do not divide this directly, my dear math learners, because when you divide decimal points, you need to make it as whole numbers. So in order for the 0.7 to become whole number, we will be moving the decimal point to the right side. So that is 1, right? Of course, in mathematics, there is what we call parallelism. So what you do to the first solution, you must also do on the second solution. So of course, this decimal point will also be moved here. So that will be put here for your final answer. So we have here 35 divided by 7. That is basically 5, right? Because 5 times 7 is 35. So by multiplying, that will become 35, and this will become 0. So you will have an answer of 0.5, and that is equal to letter B. All right, very easy, my dear math learners. All right, let's check whether we are correct. All right, we are correct, my dear
easy, right?
learners. Very easy. So I hope you got that one. If you do have some question, do not hesitate to put your inquiries in our comment section below. Now let us go to question number 37. What is 18% of 150? Is it A, 23, B, 27, C, 32, or letter D, 36? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, my dear math learners, in order for you to answer this problem, what you will do is you just convert the 18% into decimal. So 18%, when you transform it to decimal, that will be 0.18 or 0.18, and then you multiply it. All right, so of course, multiplying 8 to 0, that is 0, 8 to 5, that is 40, and then 8 to 1, so that is 8 plus 4, that is 12. And then 1 times 150, that is the same as 150. So just simplifying this, you will have 27 or 2,700. Of course, there is two decimal places there. So this two decimal place will be crushed out, or the decimal point will be here. So you will have an answer of 27. That is letter B. Let us check whether we are correct. All right, we are correct, my dear math learners. I hope you got that one. So very, very easy, my dear math learners. So now let us go to question number 38. If 30% of a number is 45, what is the number? All right, is it A, 120, B, 135, C, 150, or D, 165? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, my dear math learners, in this problem, this is basically a number multiplied by 30%. The answer is 45. So basically, if you wanted to try to solve that one, so that is, let's say, the principal multiplied by 0.3, because 30% is 0.3. And the answer is 45. So in order for you to get the value of your principal amount, so what we do is you divide both sides by 0.3. So that will, the process now is 45 divided by 0.3. So when you divide 45 by 0.3, so you move the decimal point to the right side, giving you 3, or giving you 450 divided by 3. So the answer for that is basically 150. Now let's check whether we are correct. All right, we are correct, my dear math learners.
Easy, right?
Right, easy. So now let us go to question number 39. If a population of a village decreases from 5,000 to 4,500, what is the percentage of decrease? Is it A, 5%, B, 10%, C, 15%, or D, 20%? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, math learners, this is the same as what we have encountered earlier about the increase of population. So right now in question number 39, it talks about decrease. So what is the number of decrease in the population? So from 5,000, it become 4,500. So 5,000 minus 4,500, that is, very good, 500. All right. So there is a decrease of 500. So what happened to 5,000 while it decreased to 4,500? So it was reduced by 500, right? So we have now 500 over 5,000, which is the base, right? So we just cancel the two zeros. You have now 5 over 50, and 5 over 50, that is basically 1 out of 10. And 1 out of 10 is basically 10%, or 0.1, because 1 divided by 10 is 0.1, which is 10%. So the correct answer is 10%. Let us check whether we are correct, my dear math learners. All right, we are correct in our given solution. All right.
Easy, right?
Now let us go to question number 40. A sign pen is on sale at 20% off. If the original price is 60 pesos, what is the sale price? Is it A, 42 pesos, B, 44 pesos, C, 46 pesos, or D, 48 pesos? I'll give you 5 seconds. All right, my dear math learners. So this is just the same as what we have encountered earlier about the towel. So the price is 60 pesos and there is a 20% off. So what you will do in order for you to get the easiest way to get this one is to get the counterpart, in which that counterpart is 80%. That is what you will be paying, right? So 80% of 60 is the correct answer for this problem. So 80%, that is 0.8. So 0.8 times 60, basically the answer is 48 pesos. Okay, because 6 times 8 is 48. So now let's check whether we are correct. All right, we are correct, my dear math learners.
Easy, right?
Very easy. Okay, so congratulations, you already finished 4 parts of our reviewer series. So now we will go to the last part, and I hope you are enjoying our discussion. Hope you can share this to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates. Now let us go to question number 41. If a car travels 210 kilometers in 3 hours, what is its average speed in kilometers per hour? Is it A, 60 kilometers per hour, B, 65 kilometers per hour, C, 70 kilometers per hour, or D, 75 kilometers per hour? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners, in this question, it is very easy. Why? Because what is asked here is what is the number of kilometers per hour. Okay, so what you will do is you just divide 210 by 3. So 210 by 3, that is 70. So the correct answer for this problem is letter E. Alright, we are correct, my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 42. A printer can print 480 pages in 20 minutes. What is its printing rate in pages per minute? Is it A, 18, B, 20, C, 22, or D, 24? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, my dear math learners, another easy question, the same as question number 41. So in order for us to know the pages per minute, what you will do is you just divide 480 pages by 20 minutes. Since both two numbers have 0 at the end, so you can cancel the 0. So you just have 48 by 2. So divided it together. So 48 divided by 2, the answer is 24. So let's check whether we are correct. Alright, my dear math learners, we are correct. So
Easy, right?
very easy. Now let us go to question number 43. A factory produces 800 units in 5 hours. What is its production rate in units per hour? So is it A, 140, B, 150, C, 160, or D, 170? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, my dear math learners, this question seems very easy right now because what we can do here is just divide the given. So 800 divided by 5, there is 1 there, so all of them has 1. Then there is a remainder of, or the bring down, which is 3. Then 3 bring down 0, so 30, so that is 6. So of course, we already know the correct answer here, that is 160. So let's check whether we are correct. Very good, my dear math learners. We are correct. Alright, so I hope you are enjoying our questions and our reviewer series. So now let us go to question number 44. A runner completes a 10K race in 50 minutes. At this speed, how long would it take for the runner to run 1 kilometer? Is it A, 4 minutes, B, 5 minutes, C, 6 minutes, or D, 7 minutes? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, math learners. So what is given here is basically 10K. So 10K is, that means 10 kilometers, okay, in 50 minutes. So, of course, if in 10 kilometers there are 50 minutes, what is 1 kilometer of it? So, of course, what you can do is you get the ratio and proportion. So, basically, you can just cancel the zeros of the given. So, the 0 from the 10 and the 0 from the 50 minutes, and that will give you 5 minutes. So the correct answer for this problem is letter B. Alright, we are correct, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to question number 45. A pack of 8 water bottles costs 96 pesos. What is the unit cost per water bottle? Is it A, 9, B, 12, C, 15, or D, 18? I'll give you 5 seconds. So my dear math learners, question number 45 talks about a pack, in which in a pack there are 8 bottles, right? So that pack costs 96 pesos. So how much is the bottle in those pack? If you wanted to know the cost of each bottle. Okay, so how do you get this one? What we'll do is you just divide it. So 96 divided by 8. And the correct answer for that is, of course, letter D, 12. Alright, so very easy,
right?
my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 46. If a train travels 180 kilometers in 3 hours, what is its average speed in kilometers per hour? Is it A, 60 kilometers, B, 90 kilometers, C, 120 kilometers per hour, or D, 150 kilometers per hour? I'll give you 5 seconds. All right, math learners, in order for you to get the answer for this question, what you will do is very simple. You just divide 180 by 3. So the correct answer is 60 kilometers per hour. Let's check. Very good, my dear math learners. Very, very easy. Now, let's go to question number 47. A photocopier can produce 400 copies in 20 minutes. What is its copying rate in copies per minute? Okay, is it A, 15 copies per minute, B, 20 copies per minute, C, 25 copies per minute, or D, 30 copies per minute? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, my dear math learners, the question is very, very easy. The same concept. What we will do is we just divide 400 by 20, and the answer for that is letter B. Okay, so you just divide 400 by 20, and that is the answer. Or 20 times 20 is equal to 400 copy.
Easy, right?
So now let's go to question number 48. A machine packs 600 boxes in 5 hours. What is its packing rate in boxes per hour? Is it A, 90 boxes per hour, B, 100 boxes per hour, C, 110 boxes per hour, or D, 120 boxes per hour? I'll give you 5 seconds. So my dear math learners, the question here is very, very easy. So the same concepts that we are doing earlier, you just divide the given two numbers. So 600 divided by 5, of course, if you divide 600 by 5, the answer is 120 big boxes per hour. Okay.
Easy, right?
Very, very easy, my dear math learners. So now let us go to question number 49. A cyclist cover 12 kilometers in 36 minutes. How does it take for the cyclist to travel 1 kilometer? Okay. Is it A, 2 minutes per kilometer, B, 3 minutes per kilometer, C, 4 minutes per kilometer, or D, 6 minutes per kilometer? I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, my dear math learners, so now we are talking about how many minutes the cyclist will cover per kilometer. So it is given here that the 12 kilometers has been traveled in just 36 minutes. So what you will do is you just divide this by 12. Okay, so 36 divided by 12, that is 3 minutes. So in every kilometer, there are only 3 minutes to cover. Okay, or in just 3 minutes, 1 kilometer is covered by the cyclist. So the correct answer is letter B. Alright.
Easy, right?
Very easy, my dear math learners. So now, congratulations, we are now to our last question. Question number 50. A set of 8 pens cost 480 pesos. What is the cost per pen? Is it A, 45 pesos, B, 50 pesos, C, 55 pesos, or D, 60 pesos? I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, my dear math learners, the same concept in what we have been answering in the previous 10 questions. So what you will do here is you just divide 480 by 8 in order for you to get the unit cost per pen. So 480 divided by 8, that is 60. So the correct answer for this problem is 60 pesos. All right.
Easy, right?
So very, very easy, my dear math learners. And congratulations, you have finished 50 questions in preparation for your examination in the grade 7 curriculum for the first quarter of the Matatag curriculum. This has been your free educator, math teacher Ash. And always remember, it is fun to learn mathematics if we are together learning. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, liking this page, or sharing this video to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates. Thank you very much. God bless and keep safe.